Would you like to know the secret of having magnificent flowers at your wedding without blowing your budget? Or would you like to impress your guests with a gourmet meal without the overwhelming price tag? Well, we at the Ideal Wedding Company are here to give you the insider tips on how to save money when budgeting your wedding. First of all, determine your budget and prioritise your suppliers. As a rule of thumb, food, drinks and the venue should cover around half of your budget.
One of the most important things for couples when they are starting to plan their wedding is to do a budget. This isn't the time to be going on a whim and just booking supplies left, right and centre. You need to know what you can afford. You don't want to start your married life being in debt. One thing I do advise people to do once they've actually done their budget is start doing a spreadsheet with your payment plan. So this enables you to track what supplies you've hired, what they're charging and when you need to pay them. This helps you at a glance see what you are spending on your wedding without any nasty surprises nearer the actual wedding date. I think it's really vital to be organised from the outset.
Always shop around. Compare companies on price and on quality. Book one location for your ceremony and reception. You won't need to pay multiple site fees. Plus, there's no need for extra transportation costs between venues. Most venues charge more for a Saturday hire, so think about having your wedding on a Friday or Sunday. Prune your guest list. It could save you a considerable amount if your venue charges per person.
One trouble that sometimes couples have with weddings is knowing who to invite. Sometimes this can occur when parents are contributing to the wedding and understandably they want to invite their friends and family to the wedding as well. What happens, however, is you end up with about double the amount of guests that you actually want at your wedding. You may not even know who half the people are. What's really important to try and bring you back down to reality, every single guest has a figure to their head. Now, I'm not just talking the wedding breakfast and the drinks with the meal, but if you've got 10 extra guests, that's one extra table, so that's more linen, that's more flowers, that's more candles, that's more stationery. All these things impact on your wedding. So really try and sit back and think about who do you want to share your special day. Create an A-list of people that must be there who you'd be incredibly upset if they weren't there to witness you becoming husband and wife. Then have a B-list. As the replies start to come in, if there are some of the A-list guests that can't come, then you know that you can invite somebody else. But don't make the mistake of inviting everybody at the same time when you know that you can't afford all those guests to come. And more importantly, perhaps there isn't even the room at the venue for all those people as well.
Try negotiating on price when booking your photographer and videographer. If your chosen company charges by the hour, then cut down on the amount of time they spend at the reception. Schedule the toasts, the cake cutting and the first dance soon after the dinner, as once they've captured those moments, they can leave.
Why not have the canapes as your starter? So then when guests go down to sit down for the wedding breakfast, you're only serving them the 2 courses and not the 3. Why not serve the wedding cake as your dessert, which also can save you a considerable amount of money? Don't waste money on an evening buffet that invariably doesn't get touched by your guests. Think about doing something like a cheese board. Have slices of your wedding cake there. Why not do something like little sausage rolls at midnight when people tend to get a bit peckish? Don't feel that you have to be providing a big buffet in the evening, because I can guarantee 9 out of 10 times it doesn't get eaten. The other really important thing to think about when you're actually planning your wedding, if you do want to try and save costs on the catering, which, let's face it, account for most of your budget, why not have a later wedding? That way you don't have to feed guests as much. If your wedding is in earlier in the day, like at 1 o'clock, they will be expecting you to feed them canapes and a wedding breakfast and something in the evening. Whereas if you have your wedding at, say, 3 o'clock, you only need to feed them one proper meal and just some snacks in the evening.
Instead of having a wedding cake, offer cupcakes.
The other thing that I think is really important and really special for weddings is think of your friends and family. What skills can they bring to your wedding? Okay, it's just as easy to pay somebody to make a cake for you, but if you have an auntie or perhaps your future mother-in-law that is talented at cake making, why not use that skill? They'll feel delighted that they're being really involved in your wedding, and at the same time you're saving some money.
You can actually save a lot by doing things yourself or by having friends help you. Are you able to design your own wedding stationery? Or can you make up your own bouquets?
Another area where you can cut back is flowers. Flowers can be incredibly expensive for your budget. So sometimes, rather than spending money that you can't afford on flowers that will be forgotten after a few hours, why not just have a florist do things like your buttonholes and your bouquets, which are really important and you don't want to get wrong. Then ask your friends and family whether they can help you with the table flowers. Now, this doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Perhaps there is a wholesalers near you where you can buy the flowers from. Are there any that you can pick from your garden? Use lots of different containers. Vintage weddings are really popular right now, and the beauty with that is you don't have to use the same container on each table. You could have jugs, you can have little pots, you can have jam jars. Have a mixture of different pots of sizes and shapes and colours, and fill them with really fresh, natural looking flowers. You don't have to arrange this in any specific way. The beauty of it, it's supposed to be natural and it's supposed to be endearing. So that's definitely an area where you can save money. I'm hoping that if you follow some of the tips that we've given you today, not only will your wedding be perfect, but you also will have saved some money in the process.